GM. Day 5 of becoming a 600k funded trader. Obviously, markets are closed. It's Saturday, but the videos don't stop, obviously. Today, we're doing a concept video, which is practically the title of this video will kind of confuse you, but watch 2 minutes and you understand everything. This will be a super short video, but it'll cover a very crucial concept that will probably keep you back from trading profitably for a long time. And that is more food, more mess. You might be thinking, more food, more what? Basically, if you look at my trading pairs here, you can see that, okay, you have all the major Forex pairs. What I did at the very beginning, and everybody did this, was everybody does this when they first start out, which is understandable. It makes sense, right? It completely makes sense to get exposure to all the possible markets that you can, because there's more food in there, there's more opportunity. If you have, like, say, you have USD, JPY, right? USD, JPY, you have all these different ones, right? But if you just go USD and you go Forex, you see there's a whole lot. Even if you do all sources and just say forex.com, you can see there's a whole lot of different USD pairs that are not main ones, but they're not unofficial ones, obviously, but they're not as much volume. They look similar, but trade in much less volume, like I said. And it's a tendency to want to trade all of this, right? You want to capitalize on those gains. You want to bookmark everything. And what it's going to look like is, when I first started out, I had probably 50 to 100 pairs here. And Sunday sims come, even if you do 2 minutes and you got 50 pairs, it's still a long time. It's a long time to be breaking down the markets. And it never takes 2 minutes. And the whole list would basically take the whole week. And by the time I'd be done with the list, either A, the opportunity didn't present itself, or 2, there were so many things happening that I didn't get to focus on the pairs that I even marked up. So let's say, for example, on this one here, this broke out it broke out here, and now it's retracing back down to the area of interest of the 4-hour area of interest. And now it's going to have the shifted structure, and guaranteed it's going to go up here. But if you have 5,000 pairs here, this means nothing to you. So by having more, you're actually having less opportunity because you constantly need to watch it. One person cannot watch all markets at the same time. Even if you have 50 different screens open, you simply can't. Trust me, I tried. I tried to do this. Include crypto. Include NASDAQ, mini S&Ps, future 500s, etc. These kind of futures markets. That's what I try to include. So if you do futures markets, that's what they look like, right? You have all these different ones. Imagine I had pretty much maybe 20 of these. Then out of funds, I had a bit of these. And out of stocks, I don't really trade stocks because they look absolutely, they're not even boring. It's just like bare bones, barely surviving. There's no price action here. But anyways, the point of the video is you gotta stick to one market. So I don't trade BTC. I invest into it, which is a different thing. I just like having it here. I like marking my levels up, but I'm not actually in and out of the markets as much as I am into Forex. Now, if your market is futures, only focus on futures and only do a reasonable amount of pairs. Don't do 50, 100 pairs because you can't monitor them all. It's not possible. And even if you could, you don't have enough time in the day to be watching the positions, changing the positions, because you have to remember, this would be going up to here, for example, then it has the shifted structure, and if you're logging everything correctly, you have to write that down, then write that down, and write that down, But before you've even done this, this has already gone down because something else happened at your JPY, or your GBP, sorry. And then this has had the retracement, but then suddenly it failed here and you took a position and you took an L, so that's an X. And, do you understand? You don't need an army. You need special forces because they can do as much, if not more, as an army could. So, stay specific with your pairs. Make sure there's a reason why you have them. For example, gold. See, I don't have silver. If you watch some of my other videos, I used to have silver, platinum, bronze, all these different ones, right? But they weren't included into my possible trading pairs from my broker or my funded account broker. And so I'm marking them up, and I think I see a setup, but what's the point? I can't even make any money off of it. So why am I doing this? So there has to be a reason for why there are. If all of these are included, which they should be, it's just the majors, then good. That just means that you have a good broker and you can trade all of these ones. If you need help, just add the button on MetaTrader and you'll get most, if not all of these pairs here, except for US 30, but US 30 is just a different thing. Don't trade this either, I just look at it because I find it interesting. And still not taking a single trade on this. Again, it's not anything of interest to me. But it's what happened when I was early on, because I was so focused on everything happening at the same time, I didn't focus on what was actually happening. So when I say more food, more mess, it basically means that if you're trying to boil, let's say, a kilo of pasta, and you're using 16 boils, pots, and you have enough space, all this stuff, you have enough water, to monitor all these things, you're running around, you're trying to make, and maybe you make one correctly out of the 16, and you got to just keep doing that. It's just mess everywhere, you got to clean everything up. If you just had one single bowl or two single bowls, and you're standing straight in front of them, you're seeing everything that's happening, and you just have a plan. Put the pasta in, put the water in, boil, put it on the side, done. Next, right? But you're watching everything happening, because having these open all over is not going to be possible. That's why if you see not actual trading pairs, you can actually see these ones here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is plenty. You can monitor them all. They're very, very easy to manage. And this one here is just for personal interest. So this is what I mean when you need special forces, not an army. Because usually you'll lose a lot with an army, and seeing like this, you'll start seeing stuff, you'll start mixing them up. That's happened to me before. I'm speaking out of experience, right? I'm trying to make this as educational as I can, because I genuinely am speaking from experience, where I started mixing up the pairs, and then suddenly you look at MetaTrader and you see the pair that you wanted to trade was going up, but suddenly your price is going way down. You're going, well, why is that? And you've realized you traded GDP JPY instead of GDP NZD, and now you got taken out in the stop loss and you lost the funded account. These things happen, right? When you got this, that doesn't happen, because you can see GDP USD. Okay, cool. I'm going to take a pause here. I'm going to wait. Okay, I'll mark up all my confluences. Cool. So the trade was taken. Then I got this. Okay, I got stopped down. No big deal. And then I can move on to the next pair. Okay. You see, it's much more slower. It's Jesus Christ, thank God I didn't get into this. It's much slower. It's much more controlled. And you make a lot more money like this, right? That's basically the format of where I want to explain this. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. Hopefully it does make sense, because this was a massive thing that I was doing for so long and I didn't really understand. Why can't I mean, I'm looking at all these pairs. I'm paying attention to them, and they're just not playing out. Why is that? It's just because I'm watching too many things. I'm the Elon Musk of trading, and I'm making no money, basically. So unless you have 10 years of experience and you can watch all the markets and you can pay attention to your phone, good on you. I wish you the best. But most people with normal attention span cannot do that. And life usually gets into the way, because a lot of people would be like, oh, but if I'm sitting on the chart 16 hours a day, I could do it. And sure, but you're taking into account that you're not going to be paying rent or anything like this. You're going to live for free somewhere. You're going to eat as well, or not eat. You're just going to exist without any food because the markets will keep you saturated. I don't know what the idea there is, but real life, trading with a job or trading while you're studying or trading with anything, it requires you to have control over what's going on. And with 50 pairs, you ain't got no control, and most of it is just gambling at the end. Because these pairs are, let's just say, not the greatest. If you went Polish zloty, I mean, are you seeing a lot of opportunity there? Are you seeing a lot of super massive volume? Not really, right? But I'm not going to drag this on for longer. The point has been highlighted and punctuated several times. So that's basically it. Happy Sunday. Obviously, this is a little bit later, but for you Americans, you're lucky because you'll wake up and this will be straight in your feed. But yeah, just stay consistent, and we'll speak again tomorrow.